Yeah. I mean, obviously can't say enough about just this team and how they attacked the game tonight. And that's what I love about this group is they took it to heart back when we went to Iowa, and Clark and Cesano kind of had their way with us, and you just saw the focus and the intention today. I mean, I thought it was, obviously that second quarter was a thing of beauty when you saw, the defensive game plan that we had, and we were super locked in with the two of them, and then offensively, just how unselfish we were and sharing the basketball. Also, told the team in the locker room, I mean, for Nay and Lav, just continuing to stay the course for us and to be able to have that kind of X factor night for us was huge. It was big reason for our success, and that's what we've got to be able to have when you're talking about as a team, and just how much depth and talent we have. But again, I think since the Nebraska loss, I mean, you talk about this team has won 8 straight games at home, and including top 10 wins, against UConn, Ohio State, and Iowa. So just putting a really complete resume, peaking at the right time going into the tournament. And I think it says a lot about the response tonight for the 40 minutes.
Well, if you have the question, we're going to do questions to the players first. We'll go to Kareem first.
And Lav, this is for both of y'all. At what point did you kind of start feeling it? Know you're going to kind of have one of those nights, and how nice is it to kind of finally put together one of these big games? Because I know as a bench, we've talked a lot about it this season. That when you guys kind of get clicking, you could be real dangerous, and I think we saw that a little bit tonight.
Well, for me, I feel like it was definitely during my warm-up. I felt really good during my warm-up. I was knocking down my shots, and I was just really confident and positive going into this game. And it feels great to finally have a game like this after I feel like I've been working hard and I've had like a hard season. So it just feels good.
I was going to say, yeah, and for me, I feel like I was due for a good shooting game. But also at the same time, I think my defense fuels my offense, and I really try to I know if shots aren't falling, that's one thing I can keep consistent. So just my defensive effort and energy, being on top of that, I feel like that fuels my offensive.
We'll go to Ian and then Sam.
So I'm going to throw us back to the media day at the beginning of the season. What is it when your ambitions was to earn Defensive Player of the Year for the Big Ten? Two questions for you. One, how much do you think that you helped your cause tonight in this showing, and just kind of the body work over the season? And two, how much money was it to shut the game? I saw you kind of do the juice ball. Sit over a couple times.
To answer your first question, I feel like I did my job pretty well, but I mean, it was a collective effort. We really preached heavy gaps this year, for this game. And then obviously Lav took over Caitlin Clark a few times for me too. So it was just a really good all around effort. And then, it's obviously good to shut someone down of that caliber. So it was just a good job for us tonight. That's bad for her.
Lav, you hit that transition 3 in the third, I think it was, and I saw you kind of give a little, you're not usually the most animated player, and you kind of gave a little and then said, "Let's go." Something in between. Can you kind of talk about that moment and kind of, you said you had a tough season. Is that something of like a culmination of like, oh, finally, like it's starting to fall and stuff like that, or was it just kind of, you being in the moment type of thing?
Well, yeah, I definitely don't show a lot of emotion when I play, but tonight I was feeling really good. As a whole, our team's energy was it was off the charts, and that fuels everybody, and I was shooting good, and I felt great, and yeah, I think that was my first time ever throwing my hand up like that. Really? Yeah.
For Bree, in the second quarter, you hit a three. It was around when you were starting to get hot. I think Iowa called a quick timeout, and on the jumbotron, you saw Brenda just look at you and smile. Talk about that moment of the game, and was that moment like a pivotal turning point, for you, and I guess how this game was going to go?
Yeah, pretty much. I haven't felt just the most confident in my shot lately. But everyone tells me, keep shooting. You're a great shooter. You're still shooting a great percentage. Like, it's okay. Like, they'll fall as long as you focus on the other things. And I think what also helps is, seeing the ball go in the basket. So those first couple drives and like a jumper first, like gets me feeling good. And also, I feel like everyone was just like, yes, like she's finally, I guess, back. But I knew everyone was saying too that, I'll peak at the right time, and I feel like this was the perfect time.
When you say everyone, do you mean like the crowd or the
Well, mostly my teammates and the coaches, and Shy specifically.
Yeah, for Shy or Lab, last season, Shy, when you were on Caitlin in Iowa, obviously had a great performance, holding her to just, under 20 points. You guys kind of split the assignment today on defending her. So what was the game plan? How were you guys able to hold them to a combined 48 points less than you did 2 weeks ago?
We know that Monica and Caitlin take most of their shots. So limiting their touches was really vital. And you see, Monica only got 5 field goal attempts, and that's Caitlin's main person who she's passing to. So just dialing in and locking in on those two. And then, everyone else, they can beat us.
We talked earlier this season about how one of the reasons you came to Maryland was to play in these big games and beat teams like UConn. And now, as the season wraps up, beating number 6 Iowa at home, what's it feeling like for you?
It feels amazing. I love being here. I love playing for this team, but also it gives me feeling really good moving forward. And, we're still playing with a chip on our shoulder because I feel like a lot of people have underestimated us as a team this whole year pretty much. But, yeah, I'm just ready to play these next games.
Damon Brooks, Testudo Times. Diamond, you didn't get your offense going in the first half much, but your team seemed to, knock down shots easily. How open was the floor for you, once they began to knock down shots, especially from, Bree and Lavender?
I know overall, I think Iowa did a great job playing defense on me. They were trying to really clog the paint. And yeah, my teammates just shot the lights out today, so that's always a plus. And I'm just happy they're confident because we're going to need them in the long run when we think long term. So this is one of many for sure.
Mm-hmm. Brendan said, you guys took that game to heart a couple weeks ago. You guys talk about that amongst yourselves, or is it just kind of something known that's amongst you guys?
Yeah, I think the first time we played them, we knew we laid an egg and we knew we didn't play the best to our abilities. So this game, we definitely wanted to play a full 40 minutes, and I think we did that. So that's all we try to execute is playing all 40 minutes and executing the game plan in the scout. And yeah.
We have time for 2 more. Go ahead, Brandon.
Lav or Bree, Diamond takes up for a second foul there with, in the second quarter, it's tied at 22. A couple weeks ago, for foul trouble, kind of what the difference was. How important was for you guys to kind of pick up the slack there?
Yeah, I think Coach B has been talking to me and Lab a lot about being those veterans to step up in big moments like that, and I think we really take pride in that. And, it was unfortunate having her go out with foul trouble, but we also knew that our defensive effort could really make up for it, and we were knocking down shots and feeling good, so.
We'll do 2 more. We'll do Sam and then Dylan and then wrap up with players.
Yeah, Renee, you kind of talked about it. I think it was 26%.
Yeah.
When you make that, you missed the first one, and then you're on that
Right.
After you made that first one, did you kind of expect like, oh, now it's starting to piece together, or were you even surprised?
My teammates laugh at me because sometimes I'll shoot and I'll be like off and it goes in, and they're like, "Stop saying that." But I always brush off the first one if it's make or miss. I'm like, I'll just get the ball back, find a groove somewhere else. But once they started, I started feeling it. I got hot. The basket just felt so open. It felt like anything I threw up was gonna go in. Yeah, that was definitely a heat check.
We'll wrap up with players.
For Lav and Shy, Iowa's a pretty catch-and-shoot team. They ran a lot of backdoor screens. I'm curious how you were able to prevent them from really succeeding in that area today. Was it a matter of intercepting passing lanes, or just reading? If both of you could elaborate on what that game plan looked like.
I feel like our game plan was, well, like Shush said, to make everybody else on the team beat us. So we really tried to take Caitlin out of the game, and by doing that, we played pressure for 40 minutes. I mean, I was chasing her around all over the court, picking her up full court, and it was really just my focus to force her to the right because she likes to do everything going left. And that was just the main goal, to take her out of the game. Huh? Oh, shit. You beeping.
Yeah, I thought somebody was gonna ask me about my hair, but y'all fake.
She just needs to never wear
Was it Gigi?
Was it Gigi? It wasn't. It was actually Faith who did my hair. Oh God. Good night, y'all.
All right. We'll start off with questions for Coach. We'll go to Kareem and then Bob.
Hey, Brenda, I wanted to ask about the defense. Is that just more energy? You know, you guys put together good stretches defensively. We talked about it, but what made tonight different?
Well, I think, leading up to it, they were really challenged. I think, watching film back of themselves, getting beat with the rim runs to start with, intentionally, making sure our mindset was I don't know that they got really anything easy on those rim runs like they did in Iowa City. And then obviously the big two. I mean, Caitlin had 42 points on us in that game, and between the two of them, we had no answer. So I thought they were just really locked in and kind of understood the scout, a lot more specifically. And I thought just, a lot of pride in that locker room. I think it shows tonight.
Coach, when Coach Bluter was up here, she said that was the best defensive job that she's seen someone do on Caitlin. And obviously Lav was a big part of that. Can you just talk about, like, from Lav's perspective, carrying that much of the load on defense and while also putting in one of her best offensive games
Yeah.
this season?
It shows you what Lav is capable of and how talented she is. And I think, sometimes we do get caught up on our offense, but when we can focus on our defense, the rest takes care of itself. And I thought she was sensational. I thought she just was really locked into defensively. And then, if there were screens, you kind of saw two people coming at her and making her have to give it up. So, we wanted her to have to work. We knew she was going to be able to score, but I thought her 18 points, and many of them really late in the fourth quarter, she had to work for every single point that she got tonight.
Hi, Coach. So in the fourth quarter, sorry, with a minute left, when Abby and Brene came off the court, you gave each of them a really big hug. I was wondering, like, how are you feeling at that time, and were you just like, oh my gosh, I need to give you a big squeeze? Or
Obviously, for Abby, your last Big Ten game, last home game here, hopefully until we host, but what a way to go out that you'll remember. And from Nay's end, I mean, she has been, both her and Lav, they've been putting their head down. And when sometimes you don't see those results, and we're kind of in a society that you want those instantly. Really proud of those two. When you look at our bench points, and the 43 bench points came from those two, and it absolutely was the X factor. It was the reason why we dominated this game, was the two of them. And we obviously know what the rest can do, but those two were pretty special for us tonight, and which made this even better. It makes no sense, right? This 2 games ago, we were 0 for 18 from the 3-point line. So there's always that annoying voice in the back of my head, like, that how long are we going to keep this up for? And the heat check 3 that Nay had in transition, I was like, wow. And then when it went in, it was one of those kind of nights. So I mean, you got to kind of feel the rhythm and the energy, and obviously they're the ones out there making the shots. So I think I'll enjoy it a lot more when I go back. And there were moments tonight, clearly, but when you get to go back and kind of watch it and know that you won the game and in such a convincing manner, will be special.
Hey, Coach. Brene and Lavender came off the bench and played really well to the tune of 43 points. Is that what you envisioned when you brought them to the team this season?
Yeah, I mean, those two are really talented and have played in the SEC and have led their teams respectively when they came here. So, yeah, I mean, it just continues to show, just what we can do moving out ahead. I think that's the exciting thing, is for those two to gain the confidence that we already have had in them all year. But that they belong on such a big stage, and that they're really talented players.
Hey, Coach. I know you're super humble, so I don't want to make you brag here, but can you talk a little bit about kind of the coaching job that you've done to bring in this team and maybe your coaching staff as a whole, and just kind of how you've tried to work to get the best out of all these players and all the new faces that came in?
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, this team's gonna go down as a really special group. Last year, we all know was a tough year, personally and professionally, and so. To have all the changes, and I think where a lot of people counted this team out, and one returning starter with Diamondback, it's unbelievable to see the non-conference schedule that they had to go against, which was built for a veteran-led team that wasn't here anymore. And then conference has been the strongest it's ever been since we've come in. So yeah, this team's gonna. We're nowhere near to ready for it. It's a long ways from ending, but it's definitely a team that I think it just shows when you have the right pieces and the right chemistry. And I'll say from our staff's end, when we were looking at one point with 7-8 players on the roster, it was pretty daunting in the spring. You can ask my husband and my family. But just to see the right pieces come together and the fit and them to buy into a whole new system has been pretty incredible.
Hey, Coach, you guys now have 4 wins over top 10 teams. Kind of going off what Ian's question was, what does that say about this team and their ability to just work together and bring out the best in each other on the court?
Yeah, the trust, the trust factor, the belief, the confidence. We were able to establish a lot of that in the non-conference when you go on the road and beat a Baylor and beat Notre Dame, and are able to take that. But I think more so their response. I mean, you look at after that Nebraska loss here, to go on and continue to win the amount of games that we were able to do here at home. And then, you take the response of the Iowa loss. We've always had just terrific responses that I think continues to show you what makes this team pretty elite.
Hey, Coach. Iowa's coach wasn't as impressed as the crowd as I think some of us thought. She said, quote, "The crowd was fine." So how do you think the crowd played into your guys' success tonight?
I love our crowd, and I thought they were tremendous. And they were loud. Our student section, you could see them, and they were into the game the entire time. And they were our ultimate 6th man, and were a big X factor for us.
Hey, Coach. So this is, Ohio State top 10 team in the country. Iowa here. You outscored them by a combined 64 points, and in a matter of just a couple of weeks. Can you kind of speak to how you guys have been able to play so well against the top teams, not only in the conference but in the nation? What that says on a national level, getting these statement wins.
Yeah, it's pretty mind-boggling, that we're just not winning them. I think, I had pulled up the app today where it said the game was going to be even. And, to you talk about those two teams and to be able to dominate games like that. But again, it comes down to focus and energy, executing the scout, the game plan. And when we're locked in, we're really good. If we tend to stray, we're not so good. We're only, we have to really stay focused on what we're doing. But, again, it continues to show what we're capable of when we're focused.
Coach, you mentioned yesterday how important it'll be for Diamond to play and stay on the floor. She picks up her second foul early in the second quarter. Game's tied at 22. What's going through your head, and how quickly did your mindset change when Lavender and Brene were knocking down those threes?
I wanted to choke her, although I would never do that. I love Diamond. And you know, on Gabby Marshall, like so far out from the basket, I really thought that was, you know, just reminded me of when we were down there when she picked up her second. But again, I was waiting to see if I was going to get her back in, and then that second quarter, her teammates just took over, and that's the sign of a really good team when. You know, they've, Diamond's carried this team a lot of games, and, you know, to continue to step up in her absence, I thought was huge.
Coach, a lot of, a lot of bench points today, obviously. But in the second quarter, we saw Brene really paired with Abby in the front court. And then I think in the third and fourth quarter, it was more of Brene and Diamond. I'm curious which pairing you thought maybe looked better. I mean, I know all of them looked really well today, across the entire bench, but for those three players specifically, was there an area where you felt, I guess, Brene did better with Diamond or with Abby?
Yeah, I'll have to go back and watch the film. I mean, you're just kind of sometimes when you're in the flow of the game, it's defense and offense, and it was really hard to choose because we needed defensively. On top of her offense, she just did such a great job on Clark. And then Nay, especially obviously in that second quarter and the way she was shooting the ball. So, and Nay was actually giving us some really great stuff defensively as well. So, I think obviously, you're just continuing to kind of look at those pairings. I don't think I was married to any of them. It's just, kind of offensively and defensively.
Hi, Coach. So going towards a little in the future for Friday's game, is there anything that you guys are looking to improve or work on before facing Ohio State?
Yeah, I spoke very briefly because, it's really not the time yet until we see him tomorrow. But just understanding, the mindset, our motivation going into this game after we were embarrassed. Ohio State's a prideful team, and they're going to be ready. It's senior night, and they'll be extremely focused coming into the game. Every road game is really, really tough. I mean, we had a tough game when we went to Michigan State. So just understanding how to come off of this high and letting them enjoy it tonight. But then this is our 3 games in 7 days, the second time around. So just, understanding what it takes to come back down from that and being ready to finish this out. Thank you.
Just want to congratulate Maryland. They played a great game, came out, and, they just really did a great job in that second quarter. I thought the first quarter we did an okay job. We were winning by 1. The second quarter is what really defined this game, in my opinion. Turned the ball over too many times. We gave up too many boards in that second quarter. And everything that they put up went in tonight. And so it was kind of a reverse of what happened at our place. So it will move on.
Coach, you guys are home. The crowd is huge. Can you talk a little bit about the XFINITY Center crowd tonight and how much that energy played in the game?
I don't know that it affected it at all. I mean, honestly, this is one of the smaller crowds that we've went against. I mean, we've played in front of 10,000, 14,000 on the road. This might be, is this a really good one for Maryland? I don't know. I'm asking you guys. There was not 9,000 people there. Was there? You thought it felt like it? Okay, yeah, great. We usually bring out the best in everybody's crowds. I really don't think it was a factor in our play, though. I think Maryland was a factor in our play. Maryland did a good job. The crowd is fine. But I'd rather play in front of a raucous crowd every day than in front of a dead arena. Absolutely.
You already mentioned turnovers. Do you feel like you were a little bit sloppy in that area, or did Maryland do something different?
No, I think Maryland did a really good job being physical and denying passing lanes, and they just did a really good job. I think that we were a little sloppy, but I think it was because of Maryland's great defense.
Coach, Maryland didn't really press you until the fourth quarter. Did you, typically they press early on. How did that affect your scout for them today?
I mean, we were prepared for the press. They didn't press, so we just brought the ball up the floor.
What was Maryland able to do specifically to bottle up Caitlin Clark?
They denied the heck out of her, right? They face guarded her the whole time, so that was great. I mean, they did a really good job with that. That was really the best we've seen all year. They did a really good job with it. All right, they had somebody in front of her, somebody behind her the whole time, and so they were, basically had two people around her and did a great job with it. A little bit of both. I thought our transition back into our zone wasn't very good tonight. They hit some threes. I mean, obviously, Lavender Briggs hasn't been hitting threes like that all year. And she really stepped up and hit some good ones tonight. We knew Alexander was a really good three-point shooter, though. We knew that.
Coach, over here. Diamond Miller picked up her second foul there in the second quarter. It was tied game at 22. A couple weeks ago, that was kind of the difference. You guys were able to capitalize on that. Do you feel you guys just weren't aggressive enough tonight to capitalize on her being off the floor offensively?
I think the rest of those players really picked it up. I mean, when you have bench players coming in and having 19 and 24, I mean, that's really good. That's really good.
Coach, going back to Maryland's half-court defense, would you describe it? Was it a 2-3 with like somebody face guarded?
I'd call it a box and one.
Do you think it was a box the entire time?
That's what I would call it. I don't know what Brenda calls it, but that's what I would call it.
Okay.
Coach, I'm just curious what your thoughts were on your catch and shoot opportunities today. I saw a lot of players running off screens. Just curious how that affected the game plan for you guys today.
Yeah, we did not shoot the ball well. We have kids that can normally put it, down better than what we did tonight. McKenna had an off night. Kate had an off night. Gabby shot the ball well. Sydney Alforder, I thought, came in and played really well for us. I thought she really battled, defended Diamond really hard down there. I thought she did a great job for us. Got 8 rebounds. That she did really well. Thank you. Thank you.